Disclaimer. The information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the messenger, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs, to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion. That is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees, that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become. In being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to the 288th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice, here on Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I'll be host today along with Mark as co-host, and we're ready to begin today's presentation. Let me get that ready and we will begin.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, beautiful souls, and for be part of the formation, the Soul of the Peace, for the unification time to the universal community. That intro is from 499. As our soul is part of the universe, we are part of this integrated system. We are not going out, even though the within so. Even you are lonely in a desert, you are still part of the system. We cannot run away from it. We have a soul and we have a physicality. And even if you lost life in the desert, our soul becomes part of the universe. And we die in the palace as his president, and will still go to the same place. It doesn't matter. Or where you leave this physically behind, and how are you made peace with it, and how you make peace with it. And if you cycle of life, you were a chaos or a step forward for the peace, doesn't matter for you, for an animal or another creature, or even the soul and the soul of the physicality of yourself. In one point to another, we strive to show what is the soul is, how you operate through your soul, how we have ignored your creator, how we have ignored our controller, and how you have ignored the understanding for your own creation. Thank you. Suena? Sweta?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Continue. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. So I will continue. And then In one point or another, we strive to show what the soul is, how you operate through your soul, how we have ignored our creator, how we have ignored our controller, and how we have ignored the understanding of our own creation. What is this? What happened to you? When you go to space, you travel the dimension of the space. And as I said in the teaching of the past weeks, what we call the next technology has started. Delivery of the next technology, completion of totality. I arrive on the moon. What's next? As the children always say in the back seat of the car, have we arrived yet?
No listen to you, sweetheart.
Shweta, you're not coming through at the moment.
Now you can hear me?
Yes.
Hello, Mark?
Yes.
Okay, I continue reading it. So, moon and turn up to be the strength of our soul. In this is the last week's Karen, we can get it. And turn up to be the strength of our soul. Is the strength of a stone, or is the strength of the animal? We don't even know. In the depth of the ocean of the waters of one planet or another. But what is next? How do we create a condition of life? And this question for us became the next target. We achieved flight. What is next? What do we do? How do we feed ourselves? How do we create environment and we can live natural life? We create a condition of life. This became a question, and we strive further to understand what happened if you get sick. What happened? We can bring you there first, and that's it in the writing of the first and the second book, and then releasing of the knowledge about the GAN's technology, conversion of the matter to energy. And now we call it the STM. And now we understand that energy. We call it the STM. We call it the whatever. And how do we, in transition, convert this energy into a mass, into physicality, in a dimension of life on the moon or Mars, or another position in the universe. We must miscalculate on the way going to Mars. We remember.
Shweta,
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
we miscalculate on the way going to Mars. We remember the beauty. We forgot to kiss our daughter to say goodbye when I left Earth. I'm going to kiss goodbye. I land on another planet in another universe. What am I going to do? I know where the Earth is, but how am I going to behave? I become a stone in this environment. I become a creature which I do not know, but my soul is aware of my existence. How can I go back to Earth? I'm a stone on the moon, feeling the emotion and the strength of the field of the environment and other conditions and other stones. But what is next? What is the capability? What's the capacity? What is the knowledge? And how can we push this for us to understand? To go through the transition, to go through the conversion, or go through transmutation. Stefania?
Yes, I'm here. I'm just have to prepare the screen. Okay. I continues. These are part of the technologies which in upcoming session we will teach. We will try to explain for you to understand. You cannot teach this knowledge. You have to feel it. You have to feel this knowledge. It has to become like this, like the second skin of the STM is soul of the man. What is STM?
Yes, the soul of the man.
Yeah, soul of the man. Okay, exactly. Second skin of the soul of the man, and not the physicality of the man. You know, in English, when we say second skin, it means that become to be literally home with it, understand it. It's very much reflex, like a reflex. What am I? Changing to matter, understanding of this transition of energy of the soul of the man to the physicality of the time, place, and position become a priority. It becomes the truth about our lives. It becomes what we have to understand. And to what extent can we accept this? And to what extent can we extend this? It will be good for many of us to understand that there is much more beyond and behind in the depths of the universe. What happens even if I come from Africa and I land in China? I don't know the language, or do I feel the language? Speak through the emotion, understand the culture through the understanding of the culture of the soul. We need to learn this. We need to understand this. And in the depths of the universe. This finish my part. Thank you. Did you hear or?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, just in case I was not sure.
I will
my
read the
volume
rest.
was. Yeah, I finished this.
Okay,
you.
okay.
Next slide, please. Thank you.
Next slide. Yeah.
Okay, and I'd like to just explain to our audience that these words that everybody has been saying is from Mr. Keshe from the 499th Knowledge Seekers Workshop.
Yes, thank you, because we thought that when we were reading, the first time we did it, everyone was very happy about it. We thought it was good things to do it, so we do it again. So we really
Yeah, it's just that nobody mentioned where the words came from. They forgot totally to say where it came from.
Yes,
And I think it's very
good.
important that our audience know that these words are from Mr. Keshe and not from you people. These aren't the words of the Universal Council, although we take them on as our own. But these are actually the words of Mr. Keshe, because it sounds like you are saying the words, because no one has said where the words come from. That's my point.
I think
Anyway,
it's a compliment.
Yeah, well, it is. It is in a way.
One day,
but we just have to be clear.
Yes, true. It's true. Sorry about that. Sorry everyone about it. It's true, because we got new people, and it's good to also mention what we're doing.
Yes, exactly.
We're gonna go to telepathy, but it's not not available yet. Okay, now we got the wishing.
Carry on.
The wishing from the Universal Council. Shall I read this one? Is it okay?
Yes, of course, of course.
We, the Universal Council, rise the soul of every world leader present in the BRICS meeting to be part of the soul of peace. And here again, for who is new, what we're doing at the introduction, we're in part of the teaching, of the public teaching. Usually the public teaching, there was the last Thursday, and now we're making the wish. So I'm reading a wish one by one, because usually this part it's done by the council. That's why you hear our voice reading the part, and even the wish we're gonna read them. So we can go to the next wish.
We are present, my dear.
Thank you. We're present.
Present. We, the Universal Council, elevate the souls of the coming Mosans to become the teachers for the new generation of knowledge seekers. We are present. Thank you.
We are present.
We're present.
Wishes, beautiful wishes. We, the Universal Council, elevate the souls of all beings to be protected from natural calamities. We are present.
Present.
Yes, ma'am.
So we come to the soul connection. As usual, I would like to ask you to find a comfortable position to relax our physicality. We breathe in and out slowly through our nose. With it, we support our soul with energy. We expand our soul far beyond the boundaries of our planet. We connect to all souls, searching for peace, to the knowledge seekers, Universal Council members, the soul of the Universal Council, and through it to our universal family. We also connect to the systems that support us on soul level, wherever they are on this planet. And we connect to the soul of Mr. Keshe and thank him for all he does for humanity. And we do this connection through the Dome of Peace. We reach each other's hands to connect and to exchange our unconditional love to whoever is in need. We do it in silence. And now we slowly come back and we thank all those participating in this greatest movement to peace. You can ask yourself the question, why do we connect? Mr. Keshe explained it very well. He said, the connection brings the wisdom. And if we find our roots back to this one ray where we come from, then we are connected. Thank you very much. Next slide, please. Okay, with the plasma connection, we will listen to the second question that was made to the Universal Council, and the answers are from the Universal Council members. Rick, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready to play that. Let's begin.
Thank you.
So then we are on the second question. We are living in a unique moment where the communication of souls is happening at an instantaneous speed. In Knowledge Seekers Workshop 325, Mr. Keshe talks about the connection between the cup of life reactors, and that the strength of the Universal Council members would bring the fields of connection. Today we realize the strength of the Universal Council, but how does the collective soul of the Universal Council view the collective soul of humanity at this moment in humanity's development? What is the perception of the souls that teach us the true life of the universe? Thank you for donating your souls for our education.
Então, a segunda pergunta é: estamos vivendo em um momento único, em que a comunicação das almas está acontecendo em uma velocidade instantânea. No KSW 325, o Sr. Keshe fala sobre a conexão entre os reatores do copo da vida e que a força dos membros do Conselho Universal traria os campos de conexão. Hoje percebemos a força do Conselho Universal. Mas como a alma coletiva do Conselho Universal vê a coletividade da humanidade nesse momento do desenvolvimento da humanidade? Qual é a percepção das almas que nos ensinam a verdadeira vida do universo? Obrigada por doarem suas almas para a nossa educação.
And the first answer, understand that the Universal Council members are representatives of the different languages spoken on Earth. Together, the soul of the Universal Council represents humanity. The Council is the bridge between humanity and our universal family. We are all knowledge seekers according to our soul field strength. We are all connected as souls because we come from the same source, the same ray. Through the interconnection of souls, we come back to the oneness in creation and creator. Ask your soul to bring back alignment between your soul of physicality, and your body. Observe what happens in time. See what balance does, and don't forget to say thank you in the end.
Então, a primeira resposta é: entenda que os membros... Nossa, my eyes. Today's happening many things. Sorry. Entenda que os membros do Conselho Universal são representantes dos diferentes idiomas falados na Terra. Juntos, a alma do Conselho Universal representa a humanidade. O Conselho é a ponte entre a humanidade e a nossa família universal. Somos todos buscadores de conhecimento, de acordo com a força de campo da nossa alma. Estamos todos conectados como almas, porque viemos da mesma fonte, do mesmo raio. Por meio da interconexão das almas, voltamos à unidade da criação e do Criador. Peça à sua alma que traga de volta o alinhamento entre sua alma, a alma da fisicalidade e o seu corpo. Observe o que acontece com o tempo. Veja o equilíbrio que faz e não se esqueça de dizer obrigado no final.
And there is another answer. The collective soul of humanity is the soul of peace. The peace process of balance between your beings has begun and will not stop. It's not magic, but the environment of equilibrium, of expansion, is being built. The steps, which seem small, are many and are generated in many points of the planet and the universe. The process lived up to now on Earth is a starting point for other beings in the universe to learn and not make the same mistakes.
Então, a segunda resposta é: a alma coletiva da humanidade é a alma da paz. O processo de paz, de equilíbrio entre vocês, seres, já começou e não vai parar. Não é mágico, mas o ambiente de equilíbrio, de expansão, está sendo construído. Os passos que parecem pequenos são muitos e estão sendo gerados em muitos pontos do planeta e do universo. O processo vivido até agora na Terra é um ponto de partida para que os outros seres do universo aprendam e não cometam os mesmos erros.
And there is another answer. From my understanding, the soul of the Universal Council is the soul of humanity. What is the perception of the souls that teach us the true life in the universe? Going within. This is the true life of the universe, that it is inside you. Get to know who you really are and not what you think you are. The two have to match. This is what I call balance of the fields for me.
Então, a terceira resposta é: no meu entendimento, a alma do Conselho Universal é a alma da humanidade. Qual é a percepção das almas que nos ensinam a verdadeira vida do universo? Indo para dentro. Essa é a verdadeira vida do universo, que está dentro de você. Conheça quem você realmente é, e não o que você pensa que é. Os dois têm de coincidir. Os dois precisam se combinar. Isso é o que chamo de equilíbrio dos campos para mim.
And there is another answer. The soul of the Universal Council represents the soul of humanity in the universal community. In a way, we are the bridge to the others in space. We are continuously elevating the souls of humanity, both as individuals and collectively. So humanity is elevating, and this elevating is changing our ways towards peace, because this is the wish of the Universal Council. The time of change is here, and everything is appearing and showing itself at the right time. We have elevated the souls of the prophets, which corrects the misconduct done by them and their followers. We have elevated the souls of the world leaders, which is changing life on this planet to become a peaceful planet. The teachings are done both in physicality and on soul level. So even if you reject the teachings in physicality, your soul will receive it. So every human soul knows how to live the true life of the universe, as it's all in the teachings. The ethos of Mitra: think good, speak good, and do good. And the commandments: sharing, accommodation, and so on.
E a última resposta para a segunda pergunta é: a alma do Conselho Universal representa a alma da humanidade na comunidade universal. De certa forma, somos a ponte para os outros no espaço. Estamos elevando continuamente as almas da humanidade, tanto individual quanto coletivamente. Portanto, a humanidade está se elevando e esta elevação está mudando nossos caminhos em direção à paz. Porque esse é o desejo do Conselho Universal. O tempo de mudança chegou e tudo está aparecendo e se mostrando no momento certo. Elevamos as almas dos profetas, o que corrige a má conduta cometida por eles e seus seguidores. Elevamos as almas dos líderes mundiais, o que está mudando a vida nesse planeta para que ele se torne um planeta pacífico. Os ensinamentos são feitos tanto no nível físico quanto no nível da alma. Portanto, mesmo que você rejeite os ensinamentos no nível físico, sua alma os receberá. Portanto, toda alma humana sabe como viver a verdadeira vida do universo, pois tudo isso está nos ensinamentos. O ethos de Mitra, que é pensar o bem, falar o bem e fazer o bem, e os mandamentos, compartilhamentos, acomodação e assim por diante.
So then we are on the third question. I think that we, humanity...
Okay, Rick, can stop. And we can go to the next slide, please.
Okay, and this slide represents a excerpt from the 499th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. I can play that now. Okay, it starts at approximately 1 hour, 2 minutes and 42 seconds. Let me see and double check that that's correct. Yes, I think that'll work. Okay, here we go.
We are entering a new era in the world of creation. We are entering a new era in understanding the energy side of the world of creation and the matter side. And it's important for us to be very clear about this. I was explaining this, and I explained this before in the last teaching. And we try to go back on it every now and then, that for knowledge seekers and the newcomers to understand. We are not talking about a separate thing with the Keshe Foundation technology. We are talking about the energy side of the life, which we have ignored. Energy side of the creation, where in the life of the man, we deal with the physicality of the man, the car, the hand, the table, the chair, the food, where we have ignored the fields of the universe, which keeps the planetary system apart. The fields of the universe, which creates the separation of ourselves from each other. The fields of our plasma of life, which even separates our soul from our physicality, even though it's entrapped within. So we are not creating something new. We are understanding what is there, who has kept us apart. We knew about it, but we ignored it. Now we are trying to understand the system, its technology, and in that way, we see the totality. In that way, we come to understand what we call the two parts of the creation, the matter side and the field side. Up to now, we went for Newton, we went with God knows every science of understanding the speed, the rotation, that God knows angles and distances. Now we have to understand about the strength. Now we have to understand about the interaction of the fields, because there's a strength and these interactions, and the strength of the change creates the dimension of separation between the earth and the moon, between the cell of your heart in one layer to that. Those cells, that moon, that earth, that sun, what keeps them separate from each other? We always talked about it, we never understood. Now we have to understand. Earth moves around the sun, but what keeps Earth moving around the sun? What keeps it is constant speed and constant distance? The fields, magnetic fields of the two systems. The field strength of the two. In the world of science, we have ignored that. And with the plasma technology, we're covering it. So the knowledge is complete. I am the moon, or I am the sun, and I sit so much distance from the sun or from the earth. What dictates this separation? What dictates in what position, my speed, I rotate around it or around myself? If you don't have energy, how do you want to run? If you are not rotating to create fields interaction, how do you want to rotate around another field? So what is the principle of the motion? You don't have legs. We accepted Earth rotates, we accepted the sun rotates, we accepted that we rotate around the sun. But we always ignore the fields, which are creator of this. Separation, distance, the speed. And the Keshe plasma technology is about this. The connection lines, the separation lines, what creates and how much of it creates, what distance among separation, and does this create interaction? We call it emotion. Then we understand what is about this new technology, why Keshe Foundation technology and plasma technology are so different, because we are filling in the gap. We are filling the gap, the distance between the earth and the sun. What is in this gap? How does it exist? Why doesn't earth stick to the sun? And why doesn't moon stick to the earth? And what causes this separation and rotation? And who dictates where and how to run? This is the Keshe Foundation technology. This is the space technology we talk about. You are happy with your rocket. We are happy how to get your rocket where you want to be fastest way, using the field interaction. They are putting a rocket fuel in the back like the Chinese bonfire. This is what the new technology is. Understanding the interaction of the fields, the knowledge of the gap between the entities, what has dictated it, what is creating it, what is maintaining it, and what the strength gives what maintenance, what gap. If you understand this, then you see the picture is complete. The science of knowledge of the creation in the universe, when you have a matter, you know why is there, what's the gap of it, why it creates 24 hours rotation, and why do we go around the sun, and in all that time, what is in between us and it, and why do we see all these changes? The same is the soul of the man. Why do we have a separation with another soul? How do we interact with the soul? How fast, how much enlightenment, in what the strength of soul is that understands more, sees more of, or why the strength of our soul is not there to understand. Is it the consumption of adding more fields in it because it's dynamic the way we do? If you understand it, as I explained before, you're a scientist, and maybe you understand more of today about yourself. But we speak about the dynamic reactors. We say we have a control. We can add and exchange it. So we can create different magnetic fields. So we have different magnets of everything. Well, up to now was only magnet of metals. Now we have the capability to adjust the field strength of our reactors. So we can expand the fields, we can reduce the fields, we can create different fields or whatever. Isn't that enlightenment? Isn't this what man does by eating different foods, by adding knowledge? Does the knowledge brings enlightenment, or does the food you eat allows you to be enlightened, that you understand more? Who's adjusting the filter of your knowledge? Who's adjusting the feed of the material into your soul that you create more light and you become enlightened? Now you understand the knowledge of creation is the same. Be it the earth and the sun, be it the two reactors, or be it the soul of the man. If you're not facing it, how can you see the light? And when you pass it, you're outside because you're not interacting. But it doesn't mean you're the dark side in respect to the sun, but are you on the dark side in respect to the moon? Are you on the dark side in respect about another entity? Or are you creating lights with it? So in each direction, you create different lights according to what fields you interact. Now you understand the knowledge of the plasma is the knowledge of creation, the fields in between, the understanding of the interaction of the fields, which creates condition of separation for matter state or plasma state or another bunch of plasmas. The most beautiful subject in the world is physics, if you understand it. But the most beautiful subject in the world is the interaction of magnetic fields and their plasma. That's always heard. Life doesn't start with matter. Life starts with the fields. Interaction of the fields creates a plasma. Interaction of the plasmas creates physics. And interaction of the two plasmas of physics creates chemistry. And then multiple of it is biology, and the multiple of it is the essence of enlightenment of the soul. And then when enough souls interact and work together, become the soul of the creator. And this is what in Arabic has been said from the beginning to that. We understand the totality. We understand the beauty and the creation. We understand the totality. We understand the love because we are part of that love. We created that soul, and that soul is us, which is created within us. Then you understand the change, the knowledge. Then you understand the clarity of the science. Without the matter state, we as the plasma physicists cannot confirm anything because we are just fields in the universe traveling nowhere. Or we create another plasma that we can confirm the existence of another in front of us. If your knowledge seekers understood in the past 5 minutes of teaching, you have entered, you have the key to the world of creation. And that will be the best thing for all of us.
Okay, that completes that excerpt.
Thank you, my dear Rick. Thank you so much. So beautiful, beautiful words said. As there's a hello, there's
Yep.
well, I will say that how the creation is created, how 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 matter works, how is the physicality came, how the universal unified field interact in the position of unconditional love. It attains the form that we are, that the cosmos is, the planet is, the planets are. So I will say that there's a question of Said in the no, he's repeated the question. Okay. He questioned that is there advanced technology or understanding more than plasma technology? Yes, the advanced form is the universal unified field, the energy of the universal unified field. When we get this balance, then this is the utmost thing we can, utmost condition that we can tap in, you know. So here is anybody wants to, any beautiful soul wants to say anything here about the form that we become as the physicality. So interesting, of course, as we manifest in our way individually, and then now we understand that we are part of the totality, never being separated. This is the knowledge we have. Sorry. This is the knowledge we have, and sorry for the background sound. And this is the way we are now growing, you know, with the knowledge of the universal creator who created us in his image. So anybody wants to say anything? Say, you are most welcome.
I was going to say basically the same thing to Said with the his question. His question was, will all advanced technologies be opened, which are secret, with the introduction of plasma and creator raised technologies? And are there any technologies which is more advanced than the current plasma technology? And the answer is yes. The current plasma technology will be obsolete tomorrow, and then there'll be new plasma technology after that, and new plasma technology after that. But the more advanced is dealing with the fields directly rather than the plasma. The plasma that we see is the manifestation of those fields, but the fields always come first. So we learn to become controllers of the plasma in a way, or manipulators of the plasma, or you could say masters of the plasma. But the true art is in the interaction with the fields, which come before the plasma. But if we know how the fields operate, then we have a better understanding of how the plasma operates. And then we can create wonderful tools and things for humans to experience, because we experience things through the plasma, through the manifestation of the fields. So that's a part of what I see. And yes, there will be lots of more advanced technologies. And as Mr. Keshe said in the past, there's as many types of reactors as there are stars in the universe. So that gives us lots of room for variation and improvement, and just lots of different ways to experience the plasma technology, all of its wonderful gifts.
Yes, of course, my dear. Beautifully you said. And I will say, when the creator creates and the universal unified field is always there, it is always there, like a you know, like a giver of unconditional love. that we can create this form of us, and all that is, and I will say, when a child was born in a family and the parent is taking care of everything, the universal unified field always works through our soul, through our spirit, everything, it connects always. And the child was born as created by the two after the marriage. And and because of all the luxury the child have, he was just deviated what the path of a human being should be, like scolding others, um, uh, uh, every manipulated thing. The child when grows up and become a young man, he becomes a manipulated politician or a corporate sector man or whatever. But these, how unified field works, they have stopped this tapping of the universal unified field through their spirit, and and the soul disagree with that. And when a child was born, and he was born in an orphanage, but he chose to be in unconditional love. Because he has no parents, he chose to be a parent for all. He chose to give love, and he grows up in a lovely way, speaks of love, speaks of good, speaks of truth, speaks of goodness, giving. How can it be possible? It is possible because of the advanced, the advanced technology we speak of, this fields interaction. And it is working all through the way to this child growing up is in a very beautiful gentleman and spreading peace, love, and equality to all. Because he doesn't want any manipulation to go on in this spirit realm or a form. So the form is very different. So this is what the advance, the field interaction does when we tap into it, when we understand. Then all the, even the form changes in a way. As we were also in, we were also in this chaos. We are growing up evolutionary. We have all these chaos and pain and suffering. But now, with this knowledge of universal unified field, we understand and we are changing in a way. Even the pain is there. We know it cannot hurt you. It is not hurting you anymore because you are standing like a star formation, like a star in front of that pain. And you understand that this pain comes from a sadness from somebody else. And I have to take care of that. That is the universal unified field, my dear. So I will say this is the oneness of the soul, the universal unified field, and the spirit that flows. So, and it changes. Even the RNA changes, the DNA changes. As evolutionary changes, our process also changes in a way. And we transform and transmute as we are. So this is the way, and this is so simple, This is so simple, and this is the science we never learned in our mainstream education. We are devoid of this, and there's a lack of, and much ignorance has created. So I wish that this knowledge of the universal unified field should be received with all souls in the universe, and this will drastically change everything. Well, it is changing, of course. So as you think about it a time, tap into it, everything changes. Many life changes, I understand it now. How can it change? So any beautiful soul have anything to say about this? You are welcome.
This is Mosfeq. I would like to add two things to what Rick just mentioned about plasma. From plasma, we have to develop the understanding of the fields. Plasma, it's called plasma technology, but it is a stepping stone, so to speak, for advancing our understanding. As we look at fields, our we understand what plasmas are from subatomic particles such as electron or proton to larger scale things such as galaxies and universes. These are all plasmas. So is our soul. Now, Mr. Keshe's presentation before Rick spoke is one of the things that we need to focus our attention towards, away from the material world or the physicality. And some of these physicality or material world, call it our planet or an atom, is what we are accustomed to knowing. But the fields between them, the interaction between them, what can be called even the emotion, the interaction between these entities called plasma, or the fields interaction between these entities we call plasma, is what our attention needs to move towards. And feel the fields, feeling the emotion. Now, feeling the emotion it's an interaction, it's a form of interaction. Now, when there is interaction, there is also some exchange between plasmas. What these exchanges are. These exchanges are nothing but light. Light can exist in physical field strength as well as higher field strength. Light is another form in the fields which allow us to interact with other plasma. And in the enhancement unit, in the interaction of enhancement units, we have all encountered such a situation even between our own souls, the soul of physicality and the soul of man, the sensation of a flash. So these interactions between plasmas has to be understood beyond the material world, which is also which are also plasmas of various kinds. We have examples of light even in the material world as well. But can we move further and see the other types of lights that are interaction in other field strengths? The word enlightenment comes in often in our conversation here. So let us be enlightened with the fields of not just the material world, but other worlds. There is a whole universe and beyond to explore in this enlightenment. And this enlightenment is reception and transmission of lights at different field strengths. It's not that complicated, really. Can we do it? Why not? We have been doing it. Is it enlightenment of us or them? Well, all of us. As one of us learned to see these lights, others can learn as well, by example, by being associated with it, all kinds of things. But so let's explore this enlightenment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear Moshfik. So beautifully explained. Thank you so much, so much. Anyone else want to say anything?
Right, it's Dean here. May I say a few words? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Dean.
Right, hi. Thank you, Sweta. Thank you, Rick. Mosfek, thank you for that beautiful explanation of the fields and the interactions. So it's Dean here, representing part of the English language on planet Earth. This is a language that is spoken, as we know, in many different places, and it creates a field strength from the words that are spoken. So the intention in this moment, when we come into balance, when we come into a position, when we realize that all of creation is now from this very point created, and what's gone before is gone, and what is about to happen, I don't know. But I know in this moment that we are the most advanced, in answer to the question, we are the most advanced, not intelligence, part of technology, let's say that. We're probably not the most advanced, but there's probably many animals and plants that are far more intelligent than us. That's intelligence. However, we have the capability with the thought to create in this moment. So we can change anything that we in the emotion that it collects and that unfolds within inside ourselves, we can transmute, give to others, create a condition, an environment, and we can do this with a thought. So if we want to create some new technology, some new plasma, you are the creator. You have a thought. Create. The best technologies in the world are all present in the moment, and everybody says, oh, this wonderful person has come up with this amazing idea. You have that creation within you. It's a thought. What is it would bring you the most happiness and joy for others? For them to receive the gift of your energy transfer, your beauty, your soul, the interaction of you, that they can receive the energy from it, and they can create themselves. So the biggest gift, the biggest technology is the soul of man, which is unlimited, that gives to another soul. And it's not just man. When we say man, it's all created creatures. It's each and every single soul that is present in physicality. And we all have these physical bodies that we love so much. However, when we contact the higher, when we go to the soul aspect, we touch creation. We touch other worlds and other planets with a thought. We touch other worlds and other planets and other dimensions inside ourselves with a thought and intention. And we can travel the vastness of any space we can think of in the blink of a thought. Zero-time communication. And we all have that ability within us. And all this talking and all these things that we speak about are all bringing us to this enlightenment of reaching this position. And each and every single one of us has this capability within us. The technology that Mr. Keshe and the Foundation, Universal Council bring forward is for each and every one of us to advance ourselves and enlighten ourselves, take ourselves up to the next level, create the beauty that we want to see in every environment, in and around us, wherever we go. Thank you all. Thank you, Rick. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, my dear Dean. Thank you so much. Thank you for this clarity and beauty. Thank you so much. If anybody else want to say anything, or we can move to the next slide, my dear, if there is anybody else. here's the video from Plasma School Library, Australia. And salam, namaste, salute to Lisa McDonald and the group for making these beautiful videos, for so much knowledge is shared with these beautiful, beautiful videos. So thank you, my dear Lisa. Thank you so much. So we can start, my dear Rick.
Yes, this is called Reaching a Balance.
When the physicality reached the point of balance of the field of itself, the essence of our creation is released to lead to a bigger creation, not only to our meager existence of our physicality. He wants to know what that means when physicality reach the balance of its own field, and what's the symptom for if the physicality is not in balance. What is the reason to cause the unbalance, and how to reach the balance of the physicality to its own field?
When you reach balance, there is no sickness. And when the balance reach between the soul of the man, the soul of physicality, and the physicality of the man, is more or less, we call it reaching heavens. The ultimate goal, the ultimate position. And in time, this will bring what we call everlasting life in all three dimensions. This is part of the work of understanding, part of the principle of understanding. You have to go a step further in totality of understanding the fields interaction. And we always said the stronger feeds the weaker to become in balance. In the human life, this balance always is blocked by emotion. It's like a short circuit in the work of the creation of physicality. And with a new understanding, with new development, with a new cycle, the systems are just seen, we try to reach a point where the soul of the man and the soul of physicality of the man and the physicality of man, they don't see each other as different, or will not be different, as the emotion is the same between all three dimensions. And this is what is lacking within the magnetic field of the earth. I explained this once before, maybe I explain it in a different way today. A small tilt in the position of the rotation of the earth creates the seasonal and daily changes. If you understand this, it's the same planet, the same beauty, but it goes through different emotions, winter, summer, wind, and the rest, because it's a slightly out of position. It's the same when one of the three, the soul of physicality, and the physicality of man, one of them is slightly out of position. It creates diversity, which some of this diversity means killing. It's not in harmony with the other two. And the same as the seasons, creating different emotion, carrying the characteristics and seasonal changes. This slight deviation in the emotion of the physicality of the man, which comes from the wrongly field given by the field of the earth, has created that tilt. And now we're trying to correct it. That does not create emotion, which are wrong. And this is the job of the new science and technology. Doesn't take long to create that little tilt to go back and create different emotions. Then all the soul of the physicality and the soul of the man become on one line, and thou shalt not commit a crime. And that's all it is. As the physicality of the man, as the emotion, is gravitational magnetic field plasma based, so we can correct it with the new technology.
So we can go to the next slide. Here, bring the needs and wishes from your community to the Universal Council as one planet, one race, one nation for justice and world peace. You are welcome, my dear ones. Welcome.
Well, we have a question from Michael or Michael in YouTube. Says, good afternoon. A question to members of the Universal Council. What is the position of the Universal Council in relation to the coming descent of the one who is called Christ?
Position of the Universal Council. The position of the Universal Council is in your heart, my dear. It is always we. We will be in your hearts, as we are all universal soul, my dear. We are not different, as if there's a name of Universal Council that we are different. No, we are all made for each other. So we live in your heart, you live in our heart. And well, if you see the descent, then there is a descent. When you see the ascension, or I will say the elevation, there is an elevation, my dear. See through your soul. You can see, as my Messiah Shriman M. Keshe said, see through your soul. You will see stars around you. All beings are like stars. Insects also. So there is no differentiation between any souls. So here we are all universal and we all live within each other's hearts. So this is the answer I have now, my dear.
May I add?
Oh, yes, of course.
First of all, Mr. Keshe explained that all the messengers came for the same reason. And it was for us to educate, to learn how the truth is. And if you're waiting for your messiahs, you can wait as long as you want. Because he said, and that is very clear, the messiahs is inside of yourself. So it's us start to understand, to learn, to become, to live the right ethos. And then you find your messiahs inside of yourself. So don't wait for it. Don't look for it outside. You will not find it. Thank you.
Jacko, if I may add to that as well, what you've just said is exactly it. It's when people start to need an external profit to bring some information, to bring you some knowledge, then that's knowledge that you feel strength that you may need. However, when you realize that we're all part of the same, we all breathe the same air, you breathe in, and then I receive when you breathe out, and vice versa. So we're all part of the same ecosystem, the same planetary system, the same sphere. And if you expand that out, and then you take it away, you take away the oxygen, then it's everything else, the hydrogens and everything else that are all parts of the system, the neutrinos that penetrate everything from the sun. We're all part of the same thing. It's all of us together as one. And we're all part of it. We all have a part of the, as they say, the jigsaw. And we all have this ability within us to know it. And you do know it, we all know it. And when we become still in our daily lives and we take this belief within ourselves, we soon start to realize the beauty and the divinity that we are, that we have as cosmic rays from the centralized core, from the very creation. It can only be this. We can only be from one position. And so when we take away the prophets that have come in mortal forms and others, but have come in mortal forms, you're in a mortal body, you're in a physical body. So you have the same capabilities. When you believe in yourself, when you understand the soul, which is present within you, within your structure, is connected to everything. And whatever belief system you have, is fine, as long as you understand that the real beauty is you, is within you, is part of you, and you are part of everything. And so when you have a thought, when you have a moment where you give in the right, correct way, you create a plasma, a plasma flow, a stream of energy that reaches the other souls. And that is so powerful because it connects all the souls. And there's many, countless souls that are present in this moment, in physicality and in non-physicality. And they don't always need to be in the shape and form of a prophet, because that shape and form of a prophet could be a cell in your body. It could be part of you, and it is part of you. And you just need to understand the capabilities of when you create in the correct way, with the ethos, which is being brought forward by the Universal Council and all its teachings, by each of the members and each of the people that are present in these moments. And when they deliver the message, when they speak the words, they speak it with a true heart and soul to give to you unconditionally. When you receive that and then pass that gift on, you're connecting the souls, and it becomes the most inspiring, beautiful thing that we could ever, if you use the brain, imagine. Thank you all. Thank you, Jacko.
Thank you, Dean. Is exactly what you said, the end of intermediaries. You don't need them anymore. If we start to understand this line of communication, the line of creation and creator, there are no intermediaries anymore. And also with the religions, what you said, we are changing from a taking society to a giving society. Now, look what the churches did. As Mr. Keshe says, if the bell rings, they're looking for money. The priest is calling for money. They take because they need it to keep their powerful position up straight. But that has come to an end. The time of creation, when we start to understand that it's our soul who creates, you don't need it anymore. And in a way, that is the beauty that is to come. I had a visit of a 17-year-old boy with his father. He's a very good friend of mine. We didn't see each other for a long time, and we discussed a lot. And he was a very, very intelligent young boy. And he said, yeah, he understands all these young people who want to change the world. And I explained him, I gave him the link before to the Keshe Foundation, so he was a little bit informed, of course not much, but I explained to him, if we have the alternative, which is to offer in the next coming months or years, it doesn't matter, time is irrelevant, but with these solutions, we bring answers to all these questions. And I told him, you don't need to glue yourself on the street anymore. And he was laughing and said, yeah, he would not do that at all. But those people who do that, we have to understand how desperate they are, because they don't see a solution. They want to force something and no one has an answer to their questions. And we have. The technology Mr. Keshe brings is there for our soul to expand and to start to understand that we don't need it anymore. And I think that is the most beautiful thing can happen in your life, to find such a knowledge in such a humbleness that Mr. Keshe is bringing. Can only say thank you very much to all of you to be part of this. Thank you.
Yeah, Jaco, may I just quickly say to you that the beauty of it is that that you know this, you feel this, you know this, as many the council members and the knowledge seekers, the people that have been involved with the foundation and many others. We know this, we sense it and we feel it. And the fact that one knows it means we all know it and we're all part of it. And so when we start to believe and we start to act and do, think this way, then it's already done in this moment. Thank you, Jaco.
Thank you, Dean. We have to understand that we have to listen with our soul. In so many things, there are many problems in the groups because some people do a lot of work and some do maybe a little less or something else, or we do not judge. But I ask all of you, please work with your soul. In every meeting, before you start a meeting, before you write something, before you think about something, use your soul in the positive way. Because the soul has the connections. And that means with the connections, as Mr. Keshe says, the wisdom comes. That means the answers are there. And he offered, he said months ago, I open my soul for you to understand. Who of you asked on a soul level? Directly to his soul, soul to soul. This connection is there. We practice it, we do it, we feel it. So why don't we use it? And in that way, if we see it from that point of view, it's so easy. When I was in the flight system, Mr. Keshe came to me and he says, are you flying? I said, I'm on a journey. He says, why don't you fly? I said, I'm trying. He says, it's so easy. But it's us, we don't understand yet. And in this connection, I promise you, there are the answers for the connection, for the energy, for the flight, for the whatever you search for. And if you have everything, what do you need? It's a question I always ask if they come with, yeah, we have to do this and we have to do this systems to produce. If we understand the soul level, what do you need? If you have everything. So I really, really ask all of you, start to work with your soul. Your spirit, your soul of the physicality can ask the soul questions, can ask to make connections, can ask to even ask other souls to balance their body. I often hear knowledge seekers that say, yeah, we have to do because someone is in need. Yes, then use your soul. Set it one-to-one. your soul to the other soul and ask if the physicality can be balanced. And then we also have to accept that if it's not, there's a reason. There's always a reason on the soul level. So we can ask, of course. Mostly we ask in physicality is understandable because we are in this transition time, but the solution is on the soul level. And we really, really have to understand that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear Jaco. So much, so beautifully you said. And really, we have to understand how to create the balance, indeed. And this depends on us, really. This ability, universal, is us. We are all. So, thank you, my dear. Anybody else have to say anything? Welcome.
I'd like to combine a couple of questions here. We have a second question from Saeed about why does mainstream science reject plasma science and technology? And then from Lauren, who had said earlier, sadly, I don't think we can destroy this evil in the world, the ones trying to harm us all. They have too much control over everything. We all need to survive. So again, it's a kind of a control issue. People feel like there are others trying to control them, and that the mainstream science would be controlled and rejects the plasma science, for example. What can we say about that? How can we address that?
First of all, the way of the money, if you follow where these institutions are paid from, then it makes a lot of sense all of a sudden. And what I can say is the love of the Creator is always stronger. And it doesn't matter what question we face, what situation we face. In this connection, and that is what Mr. Keshe also explained, the soul of the Universal Council is the soul of all of us. And there is nothing stronger than that. What is missing is the awareness of what we are doing, what we can do. A lot of people say, yeah, I cannot do anything. I cannot afford. Yes, that may be true, but on the soul level, you don't have any restriction. The only thing is there is limitless. But we have to start working with it. The time of spoon feeding, of just let it be, let the Messiahs come and let him save you, forget it. Will not happen. And that's also what I really ask all of you. Join the groups, join the ones who work in the groups because they need help. You cannot expect from someone to do all the work and the other ones just consume and take. It's the same mistake we made for thousands of years. And as soon as we start to understand this principle of giving, then we start to change this world. It's the only way. Thanks for the question.
Yes, thank you, my dear Jaco. I will say take the responsibility. We have to take the responsibility to understand the truth, to receive the truth, to recognize the truth, and not to blame anymore. This is the process we have all gone through. Be aware. Be in this universal knowledge. Then you understand that what is the science really is. Maybe these scientists that they have been programmed in a way to program the society, to program the whole system. Then we are now coming out of it. We know what the lies, what the reality is, what it is. Then we have to understand to create the balance in our own ability. We have to open the doors for receiving the knowledge, the real knowledge as we are, the truth. So we can't blame anymore, if you are aware, if you are not in ignorance, if you are receiving the love, then you will understand everything. So this is your responsibility. These are parasites. They will always harm. Even love has a pain, they say. Love is always in pain. So this is their criteria. But when we understand things, our ability to a responsible person, a responsible soul, we are all communicated, interacting with each other. We have responsibility of all that exists. Then we understand how to receive the knowledge, how to understand what is not good and what is not to be accepted anymore. So my dear, receive the love, unconditional love, then you will understand. Thank you.
Sorry, may I add?
Oh, yes.
I have some words from Mr. Keshe that in fact explains so much if we understand it. So he says, as I always said, life doesn't start with matter. Life starts with the fields. Interaction of the fields creates a plasma. Interaction of the plasmas creates physics. And interaction of the two plasmas of physics create chemistry. And then multiply with it biology, multiply of it if the essence of enlightenment of the soul. And then when enough souls interact and work together, become the soul of the creator. Happy creation.
Happy creation indeed. You know, Jaco, as I was growing up and I became young, married, and everything. And that is this physicality is always. I always cry. You know, when I go outside and see poor people, beggars, people suffering, I come home and used to cry. And I think I at that time I thought that I used to do that, you know, and I was so drained giving them clothes and all, and that is not also satisfies me, and because and the pain remains as it is. But now what is happening is, uh, when I understand how to give, and all beings are connected in a soulful way, and we are not separate, then I understand how to give, how to, well, I can say how to receive also. So the sadness, the pain is going away, and I'm seeing more, you know, African people around me, more smiling people around me. Even the beggars are not begging like that. I used to see like that then, you know. So things are changing, of course, because we understood that this ability of taking responsibility, that we are taking responsibility of also, that nobody will die in hunger, nobody will be poor kind of thing anymore. So we will be equal, always enjoying the life, not surviving, enjoying, living the life after all these eons. So this is understandable in balance. Thank you. Thank you, my dear.
Sweta, may I just quickly say that, again, on something you've just commented on, that the beggar in the street, you know, we all feel this emotion, this empathy, you know, this big field strength where we want to help. And we can give physically. And some of us may be in a position where we can't give physically, so we can't afford to give. However, after what has just been spoken by Jacko with those words, and by yourself, Sweta, when we give from our soul, which is unlimited, you give to the beggar's soul and see what happens. It may not be in that instant, but you've given field strength to elevate the soul. Then there are no borders. Then there is no religion, because then you've touched the essence of creation. You've understood it. Thank you, Sweta.
Oh yes, of course. Thank you. Well, yes, I'm in peace now. You know, the anger has gone, the disability has gone. That I used to think about me that I'm so disabled, I can't do anything. But now I'm so much in peace because this ability I understood this ability of the universal, unified field, the creator, of course, and an inseparable, loving condition with all of us. Thank you. Thank you.
Elizabeth has some good words in the chat. She says, feeling the fields of the soul allows us to normalize its presence consciously in our action. Feeling it, it should be a permanent habit.
Yes, my dear, I agree.
We should be teaching kids, sorry, Shweta, your microphone's making noise here. We should be teaching kids as in school to how to feel the fields. This should be our part of our essence training when we're very young.
Yeah, very good. Rick, it's such a good idea. Yes, me too, always thinking we should teach this the kids because they're the future of tomorrow. I would like to add something on this. I would like to share, they asked me to share this today, and therefore this is a perfect time to share it. In the Italian community, in the Italian language group, that for who doesn't know, we divided in Telegram by the language. So it means anyone in the world who speaks Italian can join the Italian language group. So in the Italian language group, talking about sharing the fields and filling the fields, we start in a new way of, I mean, it's not a new way of teaching, but a knowledge seeker that it's very active. I just say his name, Paolo, and I already invite him here to talk about it. But he said, not now, maybe when we become more familiar with it. So we start to meet up in the evening, and we start to do star formation, multiple star formation. So we divided in many groups. We start very simply, like a group of 4. And then as people more come in, we do a lot of group of 4, because even in the last workshop, Mr. Keshe explained how the star formation, and for who doesn't know what star formation is, usually is made by 4 people, and you have 3 at the bottom and in different height, and 1 a little bit higher, and we stay in silence, and we connected. We try to connect between us, try to feel the fields, and so we've been practice this, and I think it's really unite us as a group. Like it take on fire. Like more people want to be part of it, and we experimenting. So sometimes we imagine something in the middle, we connect, and we send in. So once we put actually a glass of water in the middle, and we're sending, all the positive thoughts, and then we made the guns with it. We experimented, we change in position between us, we do multiple star formation. So we try to fill the fields and connect at the same time. We are not in a physical, we're not in the same room, but we just connect with Zoom. So we are all in different parts. Like, for example, I'm in UK, they are in Italy, and other people maybe in other parts of the world. And we're really learning a lot. It's been very interesting journey, because obviously by practice, like Mushfaq said all the time, but by doing, you really gain knowledge. And even Mr. Keshe said it last time, it's good reading, but you have to put to practice. And yeah, so it's been really good. And we're experimenting more. And Lisbon, another knowledge seeker, they ask us if we want to do also with other people that are not from the speaking Italian, and we said yes. We try to now get familiar between us, and then we would like to connect with other groups and do star formation. And really in this way, you really feel the fields. I mean, we all doing it in a different way. Some people visually see things, other people feel it. You know, we hope some people have feelings of joy. You know, we all express in a different way, but we can see that it's something that's growing, get easier, stronger to do. And for example, before I was trying to keep the connection, because Mr. Keshe always said you have to practice. And like any job, anything you do, when you, like he said just now, when we read it today, you know, have to be like a second skin. So you practice until you do it without thinking, you know. Yeah, so I forgot what I'm gonna say, but we practice. Yeah, so I invite you to practice the star formation. In the Mojan, been taught to us was the only things that Mr. Keshe asked us to practice. You don't need to say anything, just need to be in silence. Actually, it's very important to be in silence, because the moment you think, you are out of it. So you really have to get used to feelings without thinking, and that one takes a lot of practice. I mean, for me, yeah. So I really recommend him to practice, and maybe then we can practice together in the future. But we'll keep you posted. But I already invited Paolo, because he's the guy who started it, and it's going very well. I really feel like now the Italian group is getting united more than ever, because at the soul level, like Mr. Keshe said, but when you practice, you can really feel it. You cannot line, you know, there are no masks, you're just connecting, you know, and there is not, you cannot fake it. So it's very, very nice to do. I just want to give this update. Thank you.
Okay, we have a couple of other questions from Saeed in the Q&A that we should address in our needs and wishes from the community here. He says, hello, can we tune in with the creation frequency of God? What if we can do creative, amazing things just by soul or consciousness without the use of any device? Thanks. What would the Universal Council say about that?
Well, I will say, Said, that this is a two way of asking, you know, that you are saying that how we tap into the God frequency, and then you are saying that you can create this magic from within your power, I will say. But if there is a God, that is you, you know, the God has been created by us. There is no outside thing like God, but it is the ability of our to create. The Creator has created us in this image. We are all creators. So if you say God, then the God is you. You are the creator. And I am the creator. So this is the frequency we have. We have to understand each other's frequency. Then the God exists, as you say. So the physical world. And the second, what if we can do creative, amazing things just by soul or consciousness without use of any device? Well, this is the simplest ability and the powerful ability we have. We can create so many things. We can manifest in this creation in another form. And as we are talking about traveling in space, living in space, so this is a form that we never used to be. So this is the ability. If you say in this word, this is magic, you can say it, but we are manifesting. This is the science we have. Yes, we can do that in our ability. If I am and you are thinking like that, then many of us get benefited by this. This is the ability of us, the magic, the beauty created by us. So yes, of course, Said. And the second question is, our soul is universal, my dear. If you think, if you tap into it, you can create so many things and create the good always, the ethos. Hello, would not it shock or blow our minds of atheists and religious people when they see the magic and form a work of work of plasma technology in the coming? The plasma technology is here, and we are at present working on it. So atheists and religious people, every people, non-religious, religious, company, or anything you say, in plasma technology, in this universal unified field, all are equal. You can name anything in this physical form, but here we are all equal. So everything you perceived, you understand will change. That is not in this frequency, or not in this energy field working anymore. So it can be an atheist, it can be a religious person, it can be a housewife, it can be anybody. So in this field, we are all equal. Names are different, but the soul is all equal, and everything is going to change if you are changing. So this is what I think. Anybody else want to say something about it? Thank you.
Well, Saeed, in this question, sorry, you're getting a lot of noise from your microphone, Sweta. You have to shut it off. There's a problem with the microphone switch. I believe it's causing static. Saeed, in his question, put on my glasses here, went on to say, atheists will come to believe indeed there is a creative force, and this universe is a manifestation of it. Religious people will become rational, and the whole conflict will settle. So it's kind of his point, that there'll become more of a balance through the introduction and use of the plasma technology in the coming future. And I believe that's completely true. Yes. Jacko used as an answer, they will even forget why they carry a weapon, which is a quote from Mr. Keshe, basically, that they would forget that even why they would carry a weapon.
There is a message from Mark. Rick, am I clear now? Hello?
Yes.
Thank you.
Now you're not.
Now I'm not?
Now it's noisy. No,
Okay.
it's too noisy. Yeah, okay, I could read the message from Mark. If he doesn't want to be shy to open the mic right now, or maybe it's better. I mean, he says, we share a universal understanding that no one is abused due to a lack of knowledge of who they are and their capabilities. And the quote, I made the man in the image of myself. I am you as you are I. Now, Jacko mentions in the chat, Jacko mentions in the chat for questions to the Universal Council. The Universal Council representative of the Norwegian language, Marie Kalv, at the invitation of Plasma Connection, will be on the program monthly to share teachings on soul and ethos. Would you like to send a question to the Universal Council? Send it to this Keshe Knowledge Team group, and as soon as possible, it will be brought to the program. Note, this is not an official program of the Keshe Foundation. Okay, so
Rick, can you hear me clear now? Hello?
yes, we hear you. And now it's really noisy. Now it's really noisy.
Eric, I can just say that everyone is welcome to. When you said to the Telegram group, refer to the language group. So, for example, if I'm Italian, speaking Italian, and I want to make a question to the Universal Council, I will contact Telegram, the Italian language group, and I will then ask them to propose to bring forward my question. And then someone will send it to Rafael or Claudio or Mary or anyone of the Universal Council or anyone, a Universal Council supporter, and then we will make sure it will go into destination. So everyone is invited to make any question to the Universal Council. And this is good to keep the connection open between the Universal Council, the communication open between the Universal Council and the knowledge seeker. So we have the two flow going all the time.
Okay, very good.
Rick, now we can go to the next slide, if I'm clear. I don't know.
Okay.
But I would like just to remember everyone that next week we will start the first part of the teaching of the new Mojang program. So I wish good luck to everyone who going, because they will be the one that will teach the others. So I wish them good luck, and I hope. I mean, if I have to say, when we were in the Mojang, we were all stressed at the beginning, because we had classes from Mr. Keshe, because for who doesn't know, next Monday, the new teaching will start face-to-face with Mr. Keshe. So people who have donated, they will be able to learn this new knowledge and put to practice and then teach to others. But I would like to give a suggestion, because at the beginning, when we were in the first Mojang, we all were super. So Mr. Keshe, he was teaching from 10 to 5 every day, and we were really trying to understand what he was saying, how the soul work, and we had a really big headache, and we were talking non-stop between us after the teaching, try to understand, and it was really stressful. You think, oh my God, maybe I'm not the right person to be here. You want to make it right, you want to succeed, and only when we give up to talk and we give up to try to understand, and like we read before from Mr. Keshe, and we start to feel the knowledge more than thinking or try to understand it, things start happen then. So my suggestion is just to not stress, just listen and just feel, and everything will be fine. Trust the whole process, because you cannot have any doubt or any fears. There is no space for that. And then hopefully, they will put to practice and they will teach us. So I can wait. So good luck. I don't know if there are spaces still available for this meeting in Manchester, but definitely the next one will be in November in London. I think around the 6th of November. And that will be Beijing in December. So by then, I hopefully someone will have learned to put to practice, and then we'll be able to learn it and teach it again to more people. So good luck. I just wanted to remind this.
I can add that, Stefania. Please invite all souls for unifying to that soul that they participating in that training, because I will be teachers for us and elevate these souls for understand completely and unify with that souls. Thank you. And thank you so much for being here.
Okay, and Jefferson in the chat reminds us, hello, Universal Council members and everyone. If I may, every day at 9 p.m. CEST time, let's radiate the grand unifying fields directed towards peace and justice among all beings in the universe. Even a flash second would be important to connect with the members of the Universal Council community. Thank we all. So there's a daily opportunity to connect with others who give from their soul during that time to connect with the universe, basically, and for peace and justice. Yeah, so that's a reminder from Jefferson. Thank you, Jefferson.
Thank you, Jefferson. Thank you so much, my dear. Now the key, we are here to serve, not to be served, my dear. We have served all the lives, but now this is the time for us to serve. So thank you. This is the Universal Council. I am Shweta Anwar, Universal Council, Hindi language. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. The lovely, lovely energy of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Join, leap, live in this beautiful energy. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute.
Okay, thank you, Sweta, and thanks to all the members of the Universal Council today for their contributions and insights. And we thank we thank everyone for being here to experience today's 288th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice here on Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023. Our next public teaching workshop is the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which starts at 7 a.m. Central European Time on Wednesday, August 23rd. And that's the same as 10 p.m. Pacific Time today on Tuesday. So folks are welcome, whether you're an old timer to the plasma technology or a newcomer. And we try to address questions and have a look at what people are doing out in the plasma world. And you're welcome to attend that workshop. And what else do we have? Of course, the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up Thursday, August 24th. And as far as we know, that will start at the 9 a.m. Central European time slot.
Sorry,
okay, I guess.
Rick. Sorry, Rick. Thank you for the beautiful image today. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Well,
So
this came from the Universal Council, and they put together the image. Although the original image, I had a hand in with creating this idea of the circle with the flash of light on it, and the being was created by someone else, but and it all came together in a logo sort of session at one point, and I think it's a beautiful image that shows.
Yes, yes, and so connection too. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, we only have one thing left, and that's a bit of your microphone is terrible, Sweater. Every time you turn it on and off, it's static. We can't hear anything. It's horrible. But I'll put the words in for you. Sweater's trying to say that she appreciates the next thing I'm playing, which is the Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit music version. And it's good for some singing and dancing to go out on here. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you in the next public teaching workshop. Bye for now.